Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 19. Tata Rajastamo Bhava Kama Loba Sayasye Siterterna Vitam Stitve Satve Prashidati. But for word translation, Tada, at that time, Raja, in the mode of passion, Tama, the mode of ignorance, Bhava, the situation, Kama, lust and desire, Loba, hankering, Adaya, others, Cha, and, Ye, whatever they are, Sheta, the mind, Etai, by these, Anavidam, without being affected, Stitam, being fixed, Sattve, in the mode of goodness, Prashidati, thus becomes fully satisfied. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established within the heart, the effects of nature's mode of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Thus, then the devotee is established in goodness, and he becomes completely happy. Purport. A living being in his normal constitutional position is fully satisfied in spiritual bliss. This state of existence is called Brahmabhuta or Atmanandi, or the state of self-satisfaction. This self-satisfaction is not like the satisfaction of the inactive fool. The inactive fool is in the state of foolish ignorance, whereas the self-satisfied Atmananda is transcendental to the material state of existence. This stage of perfection is attained as soon as one is fixed in irrevocable devotional service. Devotional service is not inactivity, but the unalloyed activity of the soul. The soul's activity becomes adulterated in contact with matter. As such, the diseased activities are expressed in the form of lust, desire, hankering, inactivity, foolishness, and sleep. The effect of devotional service becomes manifest by complete elimination of these effects of passion and ignorance. The devotee is fixed at once in a mode of goodness, and he makes further advancement to rise to the position of Vasudev, or the state of unmixed sattva or Suddha sattva. Only in the Suddha sattva stage, only in the Suddha sattva stage can one. Only in the Suddha sattva state can one always see Krishna eye to eye by dint of pure affection for the Lord. That a devotee is always in a mode of unalloyed goodness. Therefore, he harms no one. But a non-devotee, however educated he may be, is always harmful. A devotee is neither foolish nor passionate. The harmful, foolish, and passionate cannot be devotees of the Lord, however they may advertise themselves as devotees by outward dress. A devotee is always qualified with all the good qualities of God. Qualitatively, such qualifications may be different, but qualitatively, both the Lord and his devotee are one and the same. Tatarajastamova Kamalo Sayasate Siterateranapnan Sitve Satve Prashidati. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's mode of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes completely happy. Amajanatimanasya Jnansana Slaka Sakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Chitchaitanyamanopistam Staptam Yena Bhutale Svamrupakadamyam Dadati Svapadantikam Pandeyam Shiyuda Padkamalam Shigam Vaishnavam Sasyopam Sagachatam Saganaraganatam Pitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijanasaitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saganalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sahe Krishna Karuna Sinu Dina Bandachat Pate Gopesha Goprakanta Radhakanta Namastate Tapta Kansna Gaurangi Radhe Krinavanashri Vishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamama Haripi Prakha Kalpta Vishake Pasinave Visha Padna Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachari Nirvashesha Singhavati Paskachari Desotara Srila Prabhupada Ki. So everyone in this world is conditioned since time immemorial. We cannot trace back how long we have been conditioned in this world. Life after life, we are changing those bodies. But the subtle body, made of mind, intelligence, false ego, is traveling with us life after life. As long as we are taking bodies in the material world. Therefore, we have impressions of so many past lifetimes, they are stored in our consciousness. But by the arrangement of the Supreme Lord, we cannot remember this previous life. But all these memories of our previous life are stored in our subconsciousness. And they are influencing us now. Therefore, you can see a cute little child, but there is a whole history there, which may not be manifest yet, but which will come out after some time. Sometimes we think this little boy or girl, that why it is suddenly doing such a thing. But yeah, but our little darling has learned that in previous lives. In this way, we are very much influenced by the three modes of nature, which is spread over so many lifetimes. So Srila Prabhupada mentions here, we should associate with the mode of goodness. It doesn't say that we should be in the mode of goodness, but that we should associate with the mode of goodness. Because being in the mode of goodness is not so easy. That just by determination or endeavor, you cannot change your heart. But by associating with the mode of goodness, one gradually develops the mode of goodness. By the devotional service, automatically, the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance disappear. And then one becomes fixed in goodness and to devotional service, even in pure goodness. Unalloyed goodness is Visuddha Sattva. But for now we are in the process of purification. the influence of the lower nature are still there. And due to the influence of the modes of nature, the lower modes of nature, we may have some bad habits, and they may be there. But that's the nature of the material world, because we are already afflicted with sinful behavior in previous lives. The tendency here to continue that is still there. And then when we are in an environment where such association is there, then the inclination to act in a sinful way becomes very strong. That we were studying, if we study the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj was the son of Maharaj Uttanapat, who was the son of Swayambhava Muni, son of Brahma. So Dhruva wanted to sit on the lap of his father, but the king was married to two wives, Suruchi and Suniti. And Suruchi, she was younger and was the favorite queen of Maharaj Uttanapat. And Dhruva wanted to sit on the lap of his father, but the king was married to these two wives, and he was very attracted to Suruchi. Suruchi was his favor. And when Suruchi saw that Dhruva Maharaj also wanted to sit on the lap of his father, because his brother was already there, that they said, no, you cannot sit on the lap of the king. No. Only those who have taken birth from my womb can sit on the lap of the king. If you want to sit there, that's all right. But you first have to give up your body and take again birth from my womb. And Dhruva became very angry. And he complaining to his mother, Suniti. Suniti said, what can I do? I'm not the favorite queen of your father. But if only God can help you. And Dhruva was asking, where is God? And she said, in the forest, great sages, they are doing austerities. They come in contact with God. And Dhruva said, then I'm going to the forest. On the way on the forest, he meets Narada Muni. And Narada Muni says, yes, what are you going to do? Dhruva told the whole story what happened. And he said, I'm going to do these austerities. And Narada said, you are only 5 years old. Go back to your mother. When you are grown up, then you can do such austerity. But but Dhruva's Kshatriya's blood, which comes also from his previous life, was boiling. And said, no, I will do it. So this is a whole drama in the Bhagavatam. But interesting is, let's look at Dhruva Maharaj's previous life. That it is said that in his previous life, Dhruva was a Brahman. He was a Brahman, and he was the advisor of a king. And the king had great opulence. And at one point, a Brahman developed a desire to also have a kingdom in great opulence. Just as the king, which he was serving as a minister. And then in his next life, he became Dhruva. And that same desire came out to have a kingdom. And then there were many external circumstances. He wasn't allowed to sit of the lap of his father. And as a Kshatriya, he could not tolerate such insult. And therefore, naturally, he wanted revenge. So he wanted a kingdom greater than his father and grandfather and great-grandfather Brahma. So we can see this is all logical. This is coming from the previous lives. Interesting always is behind it there are previous lives and in these lives we have developed desires which are in a dormant state in our subconsciousness. So then and then later it became confirmed by the present situation. We often look at people how they are a product of their environment. When I wrote my PhD thesis, I used the methodology of anthropology. Anthropology is a study of humans, how they, by their social behavior and so on, they create things. So that they say everyone is a product of his environment. So that's a very modern thing. A psychologist will immediately do that when that he will go back to the patient's past to see what's happened. That's when we write someone's biography, you look at the past. We look at how this person was responding to events in his time. Then we place everything in the historical context. We can see how the influence of previous life is still affecting us now. We see Dhruva, when he came in contact with Krishna Garba Vishnu, he touched him with the conch, he became all pure, and Dhruva might said, I don't want that kingdom anymore. I'm fully satisfied just by your transcendental devotional service. But what did Lord Vishnu said? But you desired it, the kingdom. Now I order you to rule for 32,000 years the kingdom. And after that, he gave him Dhruvaloka. Also, past desires and we can expect that from our past desires, there are invisible influences which are still there. It's important for a devotee to understand this, because if we understand that, the strong desires that may come up, we should not take them so serious. Dhruva's desire for a kingdom was partially fueled by a mistake in last life. So why making that mistake again? So this is what we can learn from this part, this verse of the Bhagavatam. We have to get rid of all these past desires, not only of this life, also from previous life. That requires a deep cleaning. That cleaning can be done by devotional service. By devotional service, Shelly, you become purified. It means you go up in the modes. You go up in the modes. And it's a gradual process of giving up all our attachments. That it's a slow process of devotional service. But the process is given here. Hearing the Bhagavatam and serving the mission of the devotee. And then it starts to purify. But finally, we must come to the transcendental stage. Not just the mode of goodness. The mode of goodness is also contamination. It's explained in Bhagavad Gita. It's binding. One thinks everything is all right. I'm now happy. but there is no happiness in this world. Also, the happiness in the mode of goodness is an illusion. We have to go beyond that. So these points should be taken in account. This is also taught in Bhagavad Gita, for verse 270. Think apoyanam atsana pasistam samudvanapya pavisantasya sattve. So this verse says, as rivers are flowing to the ocean is not disturbed by the rivers flowing into it. So the devotee is not disturbed when these desires pop up in his mind. He knows they come from our subconsciousness, these desires. Not all, but mostly, they come from there. We are confronted with our own desires from previous lives. The super soul knows them, gives them in our mind. And then it's up to us what to do. It's up to us. The conditioned soul identifies with the desire and thinks, yes, if I do that, I will become happy. And again, it's going into the network of Maya. The devotee sees his desire and said, oh, that's a material desire. That's dangerous. Krishna says, the sages have said that you want material enjoyment, the result will be suffering. And it's not worthwhile. It is temporary. And raga dvesha, obstacles of spiritual realization, it makes us identify with the body. So immediately a devotee loses interest. Let it go. No interest. And then it disappears. But you can only do that if you are fixed up in devotional service. Otherwise, the modes of nature, which are the substance that the mind is made from, it will overwhelm you. And you will be forced to engage in activities from which most of the desires were already there in previous lives. So every verse of the Bhagavatam, we learn things and we should remember them. Hear with attention. If we hear with attention, then we can remember. Therefore, Bhagavatam class, we should never miss that. If we miss that, then we don't take devotional service very serious. Any question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I hope you're well. Thank you for class. I have a few questions to ask, if that's okay, please.
Yes, sure.
My first question is, why has Krishna said it that we don't remember our past life? Shall I ask you the questions after you've replied?
Yeah, I will ask first reply that question. Suppose you remember your previous lives and all your frustrations you went through. You become mad. You will not be able to enjoy anything in this world. If you remember, yes, and there was an ant, and the feet of the elephant came and it's madness. So Krishna, he fulfills our desires. You want to suffer, you want to enjoy, which is a kind of suffering that you want to enjoy. I give you the opportunity and I make you forget your previous lives so that you can do that again. Does that clarify?
Yeah. So just to lead on to that question then, so some people like to know about the past life and seek professional help to delve deeper. So is there any benefit in doing this? Is this going to help us in our current life?
Well, like you have outside a garbage pull, and you put all the peels, everything in it. But then afterwards, you want to go into the garbage pull and see what's the history. What did I put here? How will that help you? No. We are nitya baddhas, means you cannot trace back your history of being conditioned. So get out of it. That's the message here. Purify yourself and get rid of that. It doesn't make sense to see how my present behavior, the cause lies in the past, in previous life. And yes, it does that. So if I come conscious from what happened in previous lives, that may help me to solve my material problems. But it's about solving material problems. Material problems at the end cannot be solved. The body dies, it's all for nothing. Better to purify and get rid of it altogether by purification. Not trying to solve material problems. Trying to solve your mental problems and so on by going into the past, that it may help a bit, but you still stay in this world. But if you perform devotional service, you transcend these problems. You get rid of it completely. Tabula rasa. That the other way is just a patchwork, trying to fix things materially, but it doesn't make sense. That on a material platform, it's all temporary. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you. And I've got one more question as well. Desires, isn't it better if we have desires to fulfill it in this life rather than carry these desires into the next life?
Krishna answers that in Bhagavad Gita. Avitam jnana metana jnanina nityaparena kamarupena kanti or dushpurana lena cha. Material desires, they burn like fire and you can never fulfill them. It's like putting ghee on fire to dove it out. It will flame more and more. So material desires have the nature that they cannot be fully fulfilled. So what you propose is impossible. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Just get rid of this material these desires by the process of devotional service. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Good. Something else? Good. So please pray for the health of Bhakti Chara Maharaj. He has been affected by COVID-19 and is on a ventilator for the moment in intensive care in Orlando. So kindly pray for him and hopefully he gets better soon. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Jai Prabhupada. Hare Bol.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.